Hello everyone and welcome to the GrianaigCreations podcast channel. This is not a podcast episode, this is a video that I'm putting together of some of the things I would like to cast on in the coming future. I've done a very similar video to this where I actually had my projects bagged up, and that worked for a little while, and then we moved and the box got put in a cupboard that wasn't the most accessible cupboard in the flat, and I've decided that because it did work to an extent when I could access it, that it would actually be quite beneficial to start something very similar all over again. So I pulled out some of the I pulled out the box that I couldn't access, and I have looked through some of the projects, and some of them I would still love to cast on. Others I'm kind of like, they were just put in a bag because it was going to be for vanilla socks. So all the ones that were vanilla socks, I'm just going to kind of put off to the side because they'll get done maybe eventually. Oh, that one's not a vanilla sock. So all of these project bags, they just have yarn in them, and it's yarn for socks. So these ones can probably just get put straight back in the box, and when I'm in the mood for a vanilla sock but can't be bothered finding yarn, I will just probably grab one of these. But all of these are currently in, that's a ball so that I can put away. All of these ones will need wound up into balls so that I can actually just grab it and go. So I'm going to leave those ones out, and I'm going to get them balled up at some point. But I thought it would be really interesting to go through some of the other projects that I have in mind. Some of them you may have seen before, so the likes of this one. This was put together 2 years ago now, and it has not been touched. So this is all the yarn for a flax light for myself in this rather lovely orangey reddish brown. Not normally a colour I would gravitate towards, but I had 4 skeins of yarn and it's going to become a jumper. I had the quantity and I've made it a project basically. So this is for the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits. I don't know if you can hear that helicopter. Do I have page 1 of the pattern? That would be helpful. I went through a phase where I stopped printing the first page because it normally used up more ink. No, I don't. A lot of people know what the Flax Light, or at least the flax, looks like. It's just a simple raglan sweater where it has a design detail down the sleeve starting from the shoulder. So there's the schematic, but I don't have a photo of it. So that will still be a Flax Light, but maybe after I finish some of the projects, the sweater projects I already have. Okay, where to start next? We'll just grab these 2 random skeins. So this is yarn I dyed a while ago, back when I was dyeing yarn and doing my project bags. And I think I found one in the leftover dyed yarn that I still have. And then my mum gave me back a skein that she had bought or taken, and so now that I have 2, I'm thinking this would make a really lovely Mount Pleasant tee. I already have a Mount Pleasant tee and I wear it quite a lot, mostly in summer to be perfectly fair, and I would really love another Mount Pleasant tee. So you can see here some of the variation in this yarn, from a lovely orange to red, like a pinky red, and then a more pillar box red. So I think this would make a really lovely Mount Pleasant tee. I need to get a bag for that one, so I'm going to leave that out on the chair. I like to put it all in a project bag, and if I have the pattern printed off, which I should for the Mount Pleasant tee, but I've not found it yet, I like to just put it in the bag so that I know what I was thinking. I have these two from Otherworldly Yarns, and it's the same colorway, so that's the Psychedelic Easter Egg. And I'm also thinking this would make a really great Mount Pleasant tee, but I'm not sure. Like, this skein is definitely a lot more muted than this one. So I would really need to be on the ball for alternating the skeins, which I done with the first one, my first Mount Pleasant. Once I got past the lace, I was doing really well with the helical knitting and alternating my skeins so that you couldn't see any variation, because I used such variegated yarn. So I think this one would be really, really nice as a Mount Pleasant tee, but I'm also not convinced I would wear this colour as a top, because I initially bought these to replace some socks that I had made that I had actually accidentally felted. So at the moment I'm thinking another Mount Pleasant tee as well, or at least another crop along that line where I can get away with only having 900 meters for my size. So we'll see. Again, I'm going to leave that one out. Okay, so this is one that I had bagged up and ready to go now for probably again another 2 years, and this is the Melee Mittens by Yassoda, and I've got it all bagged up with yarn, but I think I would like to change the red. I think I'm going to do exactly what it is in the pattern and try and have like a yellowy gold. I have plenty of Jameson and Smith, so I should be able to substitute it out from the red. When I picked it initially, I thought the red was great, but now looking at it, I think I would like a yellow, or like a mustardy yellow, or maybe even like a really gorgeous teal. I've just gone off the red. I'm going to leave that one out so I can make that substitution. And then we've got one that I've just recently caked up, and this is my 5 skeins for the Twists and Turns shawl by Stephen West. Laura so kindly gifted me this pattern so that I could I was hoping to join the mystery knit along, but I was working so hard on my test knit that I just didn't get the chance to cast on. And I really still want to make that shawl. I think it is a really gorgeous shawl. There is just one part I would probably omit, and it's the triangles in the bottom of the centre panel. So I have 2 skeins of this really lovely stranded dye works in the Sanctuary colourway. This is on the Superwash BFL bamboo base that isn't the easiest one to buy, I think. Jude may have changed how this base is stocked, but originally you could only get this from a certain shop in the UK. And along with that colourway, the Sanctuary colourway, I also have the same base. Oh no, sorry, Sanctuary is the base, not the colourway. So this one is Disco Pop, and this one here is the Naive Watercolour. I initially got 2 skeins of each of these to make a striped cardigan, and I had one in mind, and then I realised that the cardigan in question required a lot more yarn than I had anticipated, and therefore I couldn't make the cardigan out of these colours. So I have put these 3 together for the Twist and Turn cowl, and I will hopefully get this started soon. So again, thank you to Laura for ever so kindly gifting me that pattern, and sorry that I've not cast on before now. So I've got that all bagged up in my gorgeous Baby Yoda bag. I just need to print the pattern off. So again, that one's going to have to wait out so that I can get that finished. Okay, so I've got these random 2 skeins from Mrs. Lamb's yarns, which is Callop Chic Ellen, and it is the Skinny Solo. And it's in this gorgeous bright orange, and the reason I have left these out is because I really want to get my Marled Mania sweater finished. I'm sure that's what it's called. It's the really big oversized one that I was working on for months, and it's still not finished because I need sleeves and I need to do the I-cord edging. So I have left these out. I am looking at the bag for the sweater, and I am going to get these caked up, hold them double, and hopefully get that finished. I genuinely think if I get that finished, it'll be like wearing my hoodie, just not as long, and it should keep me really toasty. So this is definitely going to get caked up and put in the bag and taken downstairs so that I can finally finish that project. I have here the Soft Hearted Hat by Maddie Harvey, and I got this as part of a kit, and I've got the yarn here. It's the exact same colours as in that photo, the Grello colourway. So I have had this in my box now for the 2 years since I started putting things into bags, and I've still not cast on. So this is still in the list of things to do. And then following along the Maddie Harvey line is the Rose Thorn Mitts. These are some gorgeous mitts. I think this was part of her knitting retreat where you got these mittens in the yarn, and I've just not knit them yet. And they should knit up real quick. They're on 3.75mm needles and 4mm needle as well. And it is thicker yarn. Sorry for all the crinkling. It is the Jameson and Smith Shetland Aran. So it is thicker yarn, so it should knit up real quick. I'm not going to bother putting that back in the crinkly bag. That's another one to add to my box. Next one is a fairly new purchase. I got this at Perth Festival of Yarn this year, and it is the Sugar Ring tank top designed by Jackie Bogg, and this is what it looks like. And it was part of a kit. You couldn't get the pattern without buying the yarn, and so I found the yarn that most spoke to me out of the ones that were kitted up and on the table, and so I really would like to get that started. Even though it is not really tank top season in Scotland, at least in Paisley, I do think this would be really great to have as an addition to my wardrobe. Actually, I need a bag for that as well. Okay, next up is this pile of yarn. Now, see if I really thought this through, I could easily make a sweater with the amount of yarn that is in my hands, but I'm probably going to appall people by saying that this is actually going to become a cowl. So these are two of my favourite designers, favourite dyers, and all the gorgeous neon yarn is by Amo Yarns. I am wearing their club t-shirt at the moment, and this is all in their DK base, which is a 75%, 25% merino nylon, 225 meters per skein. And then the black yarn is from Fiberpunk, and this is their non-superwash merino base. And I have been wanting to cast this project on for a very long time, and I am hoping, I don't really think I need to hope, I definitely have more than enough yarn to make myself and Scott the 8-bit doodle cowl by Jamie of PNW Knit Designs. So you can do several different ones. You can do like an infinity cowl where you wrap it around twice, or you can just do a smaller, just sit around your neck once cowl. And I think for me, I plan on doing the longer one, the wrap it around twice, and then we'll see how Scott, like I'd probably have him wear it for like maybe an hour and see what he feels, because I'm not sure how he's going to be with the non-superwash yarn. I think this feels absolutely great. I think it's so soft and squishy, but comparing these two, the Ammo yarns is definitely softer, so I'm worried that he might find the black too scratchy. So I can't wait to cast this on. I also have minis from Ellie, who is currently not dyeing in neon colours as well, so I might see, but I think for now these are going to be my colours. So I need to find a really big project bag for this lot, because that is a lot of yarn, but I'm probably going to only cake up 2 of the 3 black skeins. I don't think I'm going to need 3 straight away. I got 3 because we're hoping, as long as he can wear it, that I will be able to make one for Scott as well, because it's, you know, it's the 8-bit doodle cowl. It's got the Space Invaders on it. Okay, so this is going to be a weird one. This is novelty yarn that I purchased when I was really big on my amigurumi bears and bunnies, and I got these fuzzy yarns, like the teddy bear fuzz. So this is the Peter Pan Precious, and apparently it's chunky. I don't believe that at all. And I ended up getting this on sale. So it was originally £2.49 and I ended up paying 99p a ball. So I got 6 balls, and I got the cream and the brown. And it's just been sitting for ages now, and I'm sick of looking at it. I'm sick of looking at it in ball form, and I'm like, do you know, that could make like a really super soft and warm throw to put over like my legs when I'm either working in here, which can be quite cold in this room, or downstairs in my living room. And so I've decided to pair it up with this yarn that I'm assuming my mum gave me. I'm not sure where else I got it from. And it's Armoni, and it's one of the balls of yarn that come from that production company in Turkey where you can only buy like bags of 5, and I think it's like minimum like 5 kilogram orders. I'm not too sure. I haven't placed the order myself. It's 100% synthetic yarn, and annoyingly it does not tell me the yardage. And so I had 2 options. I had a Red Heart Saver DK that would have enough yardage, didn't quite match the cream. Like, this match is really, really good. And of course it's not going to match that, but it will blend together really, really well. But it matches the fuzzy cream really, really well compared to the Red Heart. And so I have 3 balls of this Armoni, and I thought it's definitely going to be more than enough, and it means I can use up 2 lots of yarn. They've just been sitting for quite some time. I think I got this given to me by my mum when I was working on the blanket for my goddaughter, the crochet Battenberg blanket, and so I think that's where this has come from. But I still have 3 balls of it in my stash, and I would like to start really working through my stash. So this is going to become a blanket of some sort. I haven't decided what, maybe a corner to corner. I'm probably going to do like stripes of it. So work 1 ball and then move on to the next one, and then go back and forth, all whilst holding it double with this one. That is the plan. We'll see how it goes. But I've been really itching to cast it on recently, and I'm like, I really have other things I need to work on rather than casting on a new blanket. because I have other blanket projects I haven't touched in a while. Okay, so I've left this bag of yarn out and a bag of other colours of the same brand, and this is the Basic Soft Acrylic DK. And the reason I've left this out is because I really want to make some sweaters for my goddaughters. My youngest goddaughter is in a 18 to 24 month clothing just now, and my older goddaughter is wearing a size 7 to 8, which is scary. She's only 6. She's growing so fast. So I'm thinking of making it in this because it means her mum will not have to worry about whether or not she can chuck it in the washing machine and the tumble dryer. So I thought, what perfect way I will be able to use up some stash and some gorgeous colours. This is like a very, it is a pink, but it has a lot of undertones of purple in it. I'm pretty sure I have a red, a blue and a green, so I can make a couple of different colours for both of them, and hopefully they'll like at least one colour. And then if they don't like them, Kirsty has my full permission to gift it to maybe one of their friends. So, and yes, my name is Kirsty and my best friend's name is also Kirsty, so that can be very confusing. So hopefully, I actually plan on taking this downstairs today and starting to cast on for both of the sweaters. I would like to get them both on the needles and work through them really soon, because I feel like a really terrible godmother and I want to make them things. And I found out, like, this is a whole different tangent, I found out that the blanket I made my goddaughter Lucy, I made it real big so that she can take it. Like if she goes away, if she's anything like her mum and she goes away for uni, she can take that blanket with her and it'll just remind her of home and it'll remind her of me. And I found out like she absolutely loves snuggling with her little sister on the sofa in my blanket, and then like our mum and dad will go on the sofa as well and they'll all snuggle under this blanket and watch a movie together, and it was just so heartwarming to hear. And like, I thought making a blanket for a 5-year-old would just be like, nah, I want toys. But she loves it. She actually loves it. So that's really heartwarming. So I'm hoping she's going to love a handmade sweater as well. Lastly, well, second last, I don't have the yarn for the last one because it's in my cupboard. But my mum gave me these 2 skeins of yarn from her stash. And I've decided I think I'm going to try and make a nice colourwork cowl for her as part of her Christmas. But I think I might be taking on too much because I am still in the process of making my mum's garter marler cardigan for her Christmas. But I thought these 2 colours went really, really well together. And I'm thinking of doing another golden rays cowl. I've actually made a golden rays cowl for my mum, but I love the yarn so much that I'm just like, I kind of want to keep it for myself. And so, actually, is that in the box behind me? So this is the golden rays cowl that I've already made, and you can see the colours are very, very similar. And I really would love to make one for my mum out of these colours and kind of just pass back some yarn that she had picked. She picked this yarn for a reason. She liked it at the time, but she just doesn't knit with, like, I don't want to say this type of yarn because that sounds very mean, but my mum mostly makes like baby stuff and blankets, and so she doesn't use this kind of yarn. I know it sounds horrible, I don't like it, but I think it'd be really nice to make something for her and then gift it back to her because she bought it for a reason, she liked it, she just doesn't use the yarn. So I'm thinking another golden rays cowl. The only thing is, I think this is a DK weight yarn and this is maybe a heavy fingering, so I might be able to get away with it or go down a needle size. I'm not too sure. But I love this cowl and I really want it for myself for winter. And so I think I'm just going to keep it and just knit my mum another one. So yeah. Last but by no means least, and this is going to wrap things up really, really nicely because I've only got 5 minutes left of this recording. I have really been in the mood to make a sweater for myself. And I've got a couple of patterns in my library on my Ravelry, but nothing's really taking my fancy. And then just before I hit record, I was sat comfy on my couch, my chair behind me, and I was flicking through some of my pattern books on the unit that I've got. And I found this one. So this is from Hayfield, and it's one of the bonus Aran patterns. And I really like this vest pattern. I think it's really, really lovely. There's some nice detail in it. So you've got the kind of the ribbing on the front with a cable on either side. And then I think it's plain on the back. There's no pattern. There's no photo of the back. But you've got a V-neck version here, and then you've got a rounded version here. And I think I prefer the rounded version rather than the V-neck. And I have the perfect yarn in my cupboard, and it's one of the Aran balls that you get out of Lidl here in the UK. So the supermarket Lidl. Aldi. Sorry, wrong supermarket. Aldi. And I have pretty much the perfect yarn, and it's very similar to this grey colour here. And I think that would just be a really great colour and very versatile, and I could wear it with quite a lot of things. And it would just be a really great layering piece as well. So I'm thinking of getting that cast on as well. The only thing is, I've never made a garment where you have to sew the pieces together. So I might need my mum's help for that one. I'll be fine actually doing the knitting. It's just the sewing together. Join the side and armhole border seams, pin the garment to the measurements given, cover with a damp cloth and leave to dry. We can only see. I have to learn at some point. So that is on my list, and I will probably grab the yarn out the cupboard because I've got the door open anyway, so I will grab the yarn out the cupboard and I will get that balled up as well. There are other things on my radar at the moment. I will be crocheting along with my friend Deborah of Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal podcast. We're going to be making the Smalg African Flower Dragon crochet pattern by Heidi Bears. We're going to be casting that on the 1st of December. I don't know if anyone else is joining us. I don't know if it's just me and Deborah. I'm genuinely not sure. But if anyone does want to join us, I'm pretty sure she'd be more than welcome for other people to jump in on this. And then I'd really love to make, I don't know any other name for it apart from what it was called in the Big Bang Theory, which is like a dicky, and you've got a bit that comes down the front and goes down your back, and then it's got like a high folded over neck cowl type thing. And I would love something like that, whether, I'm not sure if I wanted to come down over the shoulders because I'd feel like my arms would then be restricted, but I would just love something that goes around my neck and goes down onto my shoulders. And I think I'm either going to try and design something myself because I haven't quite found exactly what I'm looking for, but I'd also love for it to have like a hood as well. And my sister found somebody on TikTok who has a crochet version, and it's this massive hood and folded over, and it's got the front and the back that I want. So I think when I've got a little bit of money at the end of the month, I'm going to treat myself to that crochet pattern and see if I can make it. But I also need to check the weight of the yarn as well. I might need to tweak it if they're using quite a heavyweight yarn for the yarn that I have in my stash. So I hope you've enjoyed that video of some of the things I want to make in the coming future. I feel like I've just spoken thousands of words at you and not really taken a break, but I also really want to get some of these yarns wound up into balls, and so that I can start the cast on process on one or two of them. So until next time, please stay tuned to see which ones I do cast on in the next coming weeks, days or weeks to be perfectly fair. Some of them will be cast on today, excuse me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please stay safe and enjoy your crafting. Bye!